Hello. It is 7:15 and I am on time. Hi everybody who is ever here. Today we are going to talk about why credit is important and how to help you get started with your home care agency if it's something that you're interested in. But mainly we're going to talk about why credit is important. I want my shoes. Hey Sharif, how are you? I still want my shoes. And it's my birthday. I'm done talking about my birthday, though. I'm tired. Um, if you've never been to this live before, I am Myla. Me and CJ basically go out and do is go find startup businesses or business that's been in the industry that people request and want to know how to get in and talk with them about their struggles, challenges, the wins, and whatever it is that you want to know. So if there's any industry that you want to know about, I'm trying to let you in. Let me see. Any industry that you want to know about, let us know, and we going after them. But today we're going to talk about credit and healthcare. This live is dangerous. Okay, I'm trying to get her in here, but it's the lies for me. See if it'll let you in now. How does it expire again? We gotta take this over to another platform because IG, I don't really care for it. It's taking too long to get you on here. Mm-mm. It's saying you're unable to join. I'm sorry. I don't know why this does this to us. Whew, we gotta figure
Can you
out.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So I was just letting anybody know that who is on here today what we'll be talking about and what we normally do. We normally go and they request basically industry. They want to hear about the startups, the challenges, and more. And we go after the industry so to help them learn more if that's what something they want to go into. And then also our expertise is in credit repair and home care agency. So tonight we'll be talking about why credit is important for you. And if you want to get into the home care agency, whether you want to just go after a whole agency and govern over employees or you just want to be self-employed, we can help you. Are you there, Carmen?
Yes, I'm trying to share it too at the same time. Do I need to introduce myself?
Yeah, sure. Everybody might not know you.
Hello, guys. So I am Carmen with CJ Management, and I am a business consultant. I normally do a lot of home healthcare agency, but I also consult with other businesses. Matter of fact, I got a consultation coming up for a food truck licensing. So that'll be my first one. No, that'll be my second food truck license that I do. So
So, food truck, how long does that take?
to get the license, it depends when, like how long it takes the person to finish the food truck completely. But the
Oh,
license process is really fast. It doesn't take that long, couple
okay,
months. But it's
okay.
also depending on the county too that you work with.
So what county are that you help the people with the food truck
The
right
ones
now?
that are easy. Our Montgomery County is really easy. Warren County is easy. Hamilton County will be the one that I'm working on now that I haven't done before.
Okay.
And then I have looked at Columbus, and Columbus is not hard.
Cool. So listen, y'all, if y'all trying to get y'all food truck license or anything, definitely reach out to Carmen too.
Yep.
I remember her once doing it, but I didn't know where she was at with it. But all right, you didn't open up 2 licenses, so that's dope. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. Mhm.
So how you feeling after this whole week of I'm whooped, but
I know.
I
I'm
basically said,
so tired. Listen, yeah, this birthday went too far, but I think I'm done. I'm over it. I was
yeah,
gonna
I
go
decided
all month. I was gonna go. I was gonna do the whole month of April, but I figured people only have one weekend, so I was like, okay, that's it. Well, 2 weekends because you gave me two full weeks.
yeah, I am whooped. I'm only here for commitment purposes only because I'm whooped. So, ask on. So tonight, I want to talk about why credit is important because a lot of people, I've fixed a couple people's credit and they're afraid to do anything. Look at my baby. They're afraid to do anything with it. Like they get the credit and then they like, I don't know what to do with it, or they just got a perfect credit score. And sometimes even when you have a perfect credit score, if you got a thin credit profile, you still can't get nothing anyway. So it has to your profile has to look good. Like you got to at least have 5 trade lines and have a mixture. So hey,
And you
so
still have to have some credit cards too and use them, from time to time.
yeah, have a mixture of mortgage, a car note, some credit cards, all that other type of stuff. So I just want people to understand credit a little bit more than just, you kind of see me vaguely say fix your credit, but what exactly am I fixing my credit for? Some people fixing their credit to get a house, some people fixing their credit to get a car, some people fixing their credit to get into apartments, condos, different stuff like that on the personal side, or just to get credit cards. But for me, the reason why I tell people to fix their credit is so that they can be a PG on their business credit side. So I like to, once the credit score get to where it needs to be, is already have a plan and hit the ground running so that you can take that money and basically finance something else that you might not have the money to do. So ask away. How do you feel about the credit score, Carmen?
I think for me, based on my experience, I think when you have like a good credit, let's say you have never used your credit before for whatever reason, like I know, like for example, my family, they live in New York, so if it feels like they don't do nothing with credit. So their credit is completely perfect. However, if I was in their position, based on my experience, I would start getting a car payment, getting a mortgage, because those are the things that kind of like help me open the way to get bigger things. If you don't have those main things, your credit, it don't matter if you have an A score, 800 square a score, it doesn't even matter because at the end of the day, the bank is looking at what have you been doing. That history, they want you to start building that type of history.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. She said, Happy birthday, Queens.
Oh, thank you.
So, have you ever struggled with like a late payment or a high utilization or anything?
Oh yeah, remember that a couple months when I called you like before Christmas, that my mortgage company, I made a payment to my mortgage company, but something changed with my escrow insurance. So they took from my payment, they took like $100 to cover my escrow, and that made my payment partial. So I didn't know nothing about it because I never opened my mail. So I did.
Hmm.
It went like for 60 days like that. I didn't know nothing about it. So next thing I know, I dropped like over 120 points on my credit. I'm like, what the hell? My mortgage company reported me late 30 days,
Hmm.
talking about I didn't make a payment, which they decided to turn it into a partial payment. So I called Myla freaking out, like, how can I fix this?
Hmm.
Other than that, I'd never been late before. Yeah, never. So that was like really hard to get off my credit. Matter of fact, I think my husband still got it somewhere on his, and he goes off on me every day about it. But he only got it
That's
because
because
he don't want to do the work that
yeah,
I
and he
did.
don't want
Like
to
I was
pay
sending,
me.
Yeah, I was sending those letters every single day. So he wanted me to do the same thing, and that wasn't easy. Like sending those letters on your own is not an easy task. Like every day you gotta be on top of it. But I did get mine completely removed. And that's the thing that might do better. Like if you have a late or whatever inquiry affecting your credit, that's the work that she's gonna do behind. Attack those credit agency to remove it. But yeah, that was like a nightmare for me because I never been late before.
Absolutely. So, I mean, because basically credit, it just affects your ability to borrow money or have access to certain products. So, and then when you do have access to it, then you charge like such a high interest rate, or it's double the price. And it's a shame that sometimes we don't have the resources. I was talking to somebody the other day, and we were talking about reward points, and it was like, how do you travel so much? I said I learned to use my rewards. So like when we was in Chicago, I think I paid $200 to to stay
Yeah,
at
I
my.
didn't pay for my hotel at all because I'm using my credit card points.
Yeah, and my flights is off my points. So I learned to put, like, my rent in Texas is $2,000. I was paying straight out of pocket, and then I was like, wait a minute, let me put my rent on my Chase, or matter of fact, it's on my Amex card. So I get all of the points going towards the card, like, instead of just giving them the money and not getting anything. And then that helps me travel and spend money I was already going to spend anyways. So, just learning little tricks and stuff like that. It's highway robbery because we sit next to people that they on the same vacation for free.
Completely, like without paying nothing. So if you have good credit, yeah, just apply for Amex, and use your Amex. I mean, instead of using your ATM card, stop using those bank cards because you're not getting anything for using those. So just use your Amex. What I do is I know I'm gonna spend $1,000 on a trip. I put $1,000 on there, and then when I come home, I give myself about 20 days and pay it off.
So he's asking, can you pay your mortgage with it? Because I pay my rent with it, but can you pay your mortgage with it as well?
It depends on the company. A lot of banks don't allow you to pay your mortgage with credit card. I have tried it a lot, so mine doesn't. And I have, I think, US Bank and Wells Fargo. But you can ask your bank to see if they will allow it. I think by now they probably do. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But everything that you can pay with a credit card, I will pay with a credit
Pay
card.
for it. If you got a brick and mortar business and it will allow you to pay it with a credit card, or any type of when they send invoices and stuff and you pay that invoice, pay it with a credit card. Because I think my landlord, he he set it up on Zillow. So at first I just had my bank card on it, and I just switched cards out. And I think it charged me like a 2% interest rate. But to me, it's worth it because I get all the points to travel, or they just accumulate it for Christmas. On my Chase card, I accumulated, like, I don't know, like 100,000 points. And that's what I buy. When I'm buying designers, my designers is coming from points. So I bought me some Lavins because I had 90,000 points. So yeah, I think it's just basically affects certain stuff. So I don't know. I just wanted to get more in detail because people are like, why really do I need a good credit score? You guys are awesome. This is my second time.
So
Oh,
yes, if you have a good credit score, get you one credit card and just start there, and then try to get you. Even if I know a lot of people that say, "Oh, I want to buy me a car, out of pocket. I'd rather pay 2,000 and I have a car payment." But in the long run, that car payment is really going to help you get to the banks and getting the banks to trust you when you want to get like business loans or any type of other loans.
absolutely. I have about
And you
four.
don't got to go and get the most expensive car neither. I mean, just any car to get around.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm about to do that here next. I walk the steps, how I do that. So I'm about to do that next. So yeah, just look at it like that. Don't look, there is a such thing as good debt. Like, I know a lot of people teach you don't get into debt. We kind of came from that era that is afraid to, they look down on credit cards. I was at the bar the other day with a guy. He had a briefcase full of cash and was like, cash only, cash rule, and this and that. And I'm like, I could tell where he was raised from, and I used to think the same thing, but it's better to leverage. If you got a business, it's definitely better to leverage your business credit and get the funding you need instead of exerting your money, if that makes sense. Because I've had a business where I exerted my money and then just didn't have no money, couldn't make payroll because Medicaid didn't pay on time, and then the employees ain't trying to hear Medicaid didn't pay you. So you want that cushion there when it's time to pay, because owning a business and stuff is not. I know we make it look real good. People like treat us like drug dealers, wouldn't you say?
Yep. And remember what we were talking about also, like now that you mentioned the loans, remember what we were talking about earlier? If somebody can get you a 50,000 credit line, have a plan on how you're going to use the credit line. Like, not before, I used to be scared about getting loans and credit lines and all that stuff. Now I see the purpose. I'm not going to use a credit line to pay bills, for example, or I'm not going to use it to buy a whole bunch of inventory for a store. But I am going to use it for something that is guaranteed money. Like if I want to buy a house, flip it, I will use my credit line for that, to fix it and flip it right away, because I'm going to get that money right back. And even like what them loans called that I was talking about earlier, the the hard, what's the word?
Or lending loans.
Yep, the hard credit lending loans. Those are not bad loans. They bad because the interest rate is crazy and you can get yourself in trouble. But if your plan is to buy a home and fix it up and sell it, then go for it. Go get you one of those loans, because they're going to give you a lot of money thinking that you're not going to be able to pay right away. But as long as you flip that property, I mean, you're going to be all the way up anyways.
Definitely. So it's credit. It basically give you access to rent more homes, to buy stuff and flip it, and just give you more favorable terms in your loans when you have a decent credit score. So just think about that. I know it's a lot of stuff out here on the internet. People be like, you don't need good credit, but who really want to like apply for something that give you $500? Or it's like little stuff out there, but it don't be it's just to will you in. So when somebody say, well, I heard that I can have bad credit for my business credit, or I don't need all of that, or I don't need to be in compliant, you can do it, but you're not going to really get offered anything. You can go get a loan on your personal side at a bank for $500 or $1,500. So I just don't necessarily target that area. You don't need good credit you don't need to be a good PG to have business credit. If you want to get the best, get your credit score to a 680 and above, and line your business and structure it correctly. So yes, credit is king. It is king.
And
I
I'm
want to
real
move.
big also on utilization. So I don't want to have a credit card and own more than 50% on it. So I try to keep my credit cards at 35% max if I can pay it off. And then also we were also talking about people who, let's say you lose your job and you can no longer pay your credit card. I've been in that situation. We have lost our job before. We've been in situations where we can't even make our payments. But one thing I never have done is be late on my credit cards. I'll pay the very minimum payment until I'm back up and ready to pay again.
Yep,
So don't ever default on your credit card just because a hardship situation happened. Always try to at least make the minimum payment no matter what.
definitely. If you still under the minimum payment, because them late payments, they can come off. I get them off, but it take a little bit more time, and people kind of get anxious, like when they ready to buy something and stuff, and they got that late payment on there. That late payment, shoot, sometimes take like up to 3 or 4 rounds of dispute, sometimes 6 rounds, because those banks be fighting, saying this is accurate, this is accurate, this is accurate, but anything can come off of your credit report. Anything can, but they'll fight, and it's a certain way that you have to word it and all this other goofy stuff, and you just can't send one letter in. You gotta send a letter in, and when this one say this, then the next one we see it then fall off. So we have to write a different one and reword it and keep doing it until it fall off, so it can come off. That's what I'm here for. But I also got letters that I have used in the past that that's on my website that you can go download, and I think it's under $10. But if you don't feel like doing the work, definitely reach out to me or any of that type of stuff when it comes to credit. But credit is something you can do yourself, but it is very, very, very tedious. And
But don't do the thing also. Remember that one friend of mine that I referred to
mhm,
you. So she helped her fix her credit. Then 3 months later, her credit was like all the way up. Then 3 months later, she did the same thing again, default on payment, but she only did it because she knew that there was a way to fix it.
mhm.
So she was like calling Miley again, like, okay, I need to fix my credit again. Don't do that because at the end of the day, the banks still are going to look at your past history.
Yeah. And it gets harder. So like even though anything, I'm not saying that y'all don't owe it or whatever, anything can come off. Like let's say a T-Mobile bill and it's you did it back in the day or whatever, it can come off. But if you go to T-Mobile, who lends you the phones or who gave you the bill, sometimes that stuff is still in their system if it's not over the 7 years. So that stuff is still there. So you go back there and then you calling me like, oh, I thought you fixed my credit. I did. I got it to where other people will lend to you, but you know you owe T-Mobile. Let's stop it.
Right.
You know you owe the gas company, so in certain areas you have to pay for it, or you can't go back to that same provider. It's like me letting you borrow money and then you coming back to me. No, you probably got to go to Carmen, and Carmen can't see that you did me before, you know so that's how you got to look at that, because a lot of people are like, well, I thought you said, yeah, well, I mean, you went to go borrow from the same person that you didn't pay 6 months ago. That don't make any sense. Don't go and do that.
Now, let me ask you, Mike, because a lot of people do be asking me this. Can you remove, let's say somebody do default on a payment, or let's say they had a credit card or a hospital bill for like 10 years and it's still on their credit. Can you remove it without them paying it off, or do they have to pay it off and then you fight it?
You can remove it off the credit report. Any
So they won't even need to pay it off.
Yeah, if it once it go into collections, and you can remove it. Now, if it's still open and you paying it a little bit and doing all this other stuff, no, I won't be able to do anything. But once it go into the charge off the collection, you got to think everything. That's why the 7 years things fall off, because it's already been paid for. They done sold it to another creditor, and then other creditor try to come after you, and those are the most easiest ones to remove because they don't have the original debt. They don't have the original paper that you signed, or um, you just fight it off. So
Okay, so here goes a good question then. So why some of them do go away, but they come back?
because they prove that, I don't know, like maybe you got a signature out there somewhere. You answered the phone and said, "Yeah, it's me." You tried to make a payment. They can like they prove something, and either you can fight it or you just let it stay on there again. But they'll generally say, "We found proof that this was you."
I know by working at a bank early in life, I know that a lot of them also fall. They fall because they sold that debt to somebody else, and then the new company that bought it decided to go back after you to get the money.
Yeah, and those are
So,
the easiest ones to get off though, because they don't have the original debt. So we just dispute it again.
okay.
That's Don't dispute it on. I wouldn't dispute it on Credit Karma. I would dispute a hard dispute by sending it in. Sometimes, I mean, calling them and doing an experience online is fine, but I would send it in and probably certified mail or something like that, and write it a certain way, because they use some machine called eOscar or something like that, and they just send the stuff in. It's not a person reading your stuff all day long. So if it looks like a template and rehearsed in the same wordings, they just be like, it's verified and it's you. So you just
Okay.
got to word some things. So the next thing I want to talk about, before we get off of here tonight, I want to talk about, Carmen, your workshop. And I want to basically ask you, like, in this workshop, is like basically who is the target people? Is it somebody like me, or somebody that just want to get started, or what is this workshop?
So for my workshop, it's really for people with no experience or people who are like a RN who want to own their own business. The workshop is really for someone who's actually like, or a caregiver. Let's say you have a job and you don't want to quit your job to start a business, right? So what we're going to teach you is how you can become an independent provider. And instead of making $15 or $20 somewhere else, you are going to start working for yourself, making up to $32 an hour, while at the same time gaining the experience that you need to, work on your own, and also being self-employed, and then learning about the industry. And then after that, we'll teach you how to become an agency business owner.
Okay. So in there, when you become an independent provider, do like how do I get my money? How do they get their money? Do they who do they who bills for them? Who do all of that stuff? Like, do you teach them that, or how does that work?
So independent provider is almost like being a home care agency owner. The only difference is you are going to be working for yourself. You are going to be doing your own taxes, reporting your own taxes and everything. The only difference is that you cannot hire other people to work under you. So of course you're not going to be able to have as many cases as we home care agency owner can have. So you can only have maybe up to three, as many as you can handle. And I don't think you'll be able to handle more than 3 or 5 cases, depending how big those cases are. But independent provider do get paid overtime. They get paid like between $28 and $32 an hour. You will still be responsible for your own hours. I mean, everything that you will do as a business owner, you're still going to be responsible for it as an independent provider. And didn't you start as an independent provider, Myla?
Yeah, I definitely started as an independent provider when we were trying to figure out what we wanted to do, if it was dispensary or transportation or whatever. But we kind of put that and tucked that under, like that was kind of an area, but we kind of started off with the sober living home and the mental health. So while we were doing that on the side, I was doing the independent providing stuff because I also worked in the healthcare. So I just flipped my clients um, where I just did them. And, like she said, it's a lot to learn because you got to take your own taxes out, or, you're responsible for them. You are responsible. You don't have anybody that creates you a schedule. So you got
Right.
flex, but also, your partner and your client is is your boss basically, and you're partnering with them.
And
Um,
one of the challenges you even had was backup. So sometime when she was sick or she couldn't do a case, she didn't have a backup to cover her, which is a big difference when you own a home care agency. You have plenty of employees. You have people that you can hire to be a backup. And if you're a really
I
smart
got
independent provider,
listen. When I got into the agency,
you
my backup man,
front enough.
I when I got into the agency, my backup man, he's on here. It's Dustin. That was my go-to person. Sometimes I had to give him my car. Sometimes I had to Uber him, but he was like my complete backup person. But that was underneath the agency and not the independent part because they don't want you to trade off work when you're an independent provider. So backup is important, even if you have an agency that back you up.
Yeah, the only thing you can probably have as an independent provider, probably an assistant, somebody to help you with the paperwork
Mhm.
if you want to split your money. But that's about it. But my goal with the workshop is to get you into becoming an independent provider so you can still be making money. Because if you go straight to owning a home care agency, I can tell you that if you leave your job to run a home care agency, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be trying to find some loans to cover you for the first 2 years. So it will be better to become an independent provider first, gain the experience. You'll know what it takes to run a business, doing all the paperwork on your own before going to the big timer.
Absolutely. And I think it's the best way to start because we have helped people open up agencies, and they open up agencies and they look for us to run them and, never did it and stuff like that. And I feel like starting on the bottom part, you even understand how to connect with your employees as you grow because you started there. So for me, it's humbling for me, like where I started at and how I kept going. So I always tell people like nobody is excluded from being the caregiver. Like everybody starts off as a caregiver. And I think people look at us and be like, I want to do what y'all do. And we were the caregiver for 1 or 2 years until we learn how to partner with other people. We learn how to hire. And I mean, still to this day, we still learning how to hire and figure out stuff. So you got to have workers' comp insurance. You got to have liability insurance. You got to pay for, what else you got to pay for? You got to pay for
You
so
gotta
much
pay
stuff that you.
for a lot. I mean, is agency is really hard. It's not as easy as people make it look, and everything, all the responsibility come on you. And the
Mhm.
faster you grow, the more complicated it gets. I mean, right now I'm actually, and it's really cool because right now I'm working with, I just finished doing somebody agency,
Mhm.
but this guy is an independent provider. He got he got a big, for some reason he can manage a lot. He got a big transportation company as an independent provider, and now he switched over to an agency. So he's going to bring all his clients to the agency. So he's going to have a good startup point
So,
toward his new business now.
so when you're helping with independent provider, you also, so what if I got into the workshop and I'm like, I don't want to go do the home and community based services. I can actually be an independent provider. That's what I started off on because remember I was driving for Lex.
Mm-hmm.
So you can also, you don't have to be and go in a house and do the home and community based service. You can also, if you got a van or a
Yeah, you can do
car, yeah,
transportation.
you just can't have other drivers, but you can do the transportation and create your own route from 8 in the morning to 3 and be done. It's just all about you being your own boss and, keeping it going. But, your, like I said, your clients are the ones that you're partnering with. So they got to be happy with you. And you don't have,
And as an independent provider, you're also going to learn how to, run those financial reports that you're going to need to get real familiar with, know how to bill, because a lot of people go into the home care agency and they don't know how to bill. I mean, even us, when we went into the home care agency the first 2 years, we were negative over $30,000
mhm,
that we didn't even know how to recover. And then I'm a psycho when it comes to reports and Excel. So, just playing with reports and Excel, I was able to recover a lot of that money. And it only happened because by accident I went into a case manager meeting and I seen that they had all these reports that I can play with. And that's how I got a hold of
yeah,
them. But if you don't know better, that money would have been lost.
yeah. And every time she found money, we would be happy. You hear me? But she would be a train wreck. And it wasn't nice. So if y'all are the people that's looking to have the agency part, I don't know how. I mean, I'm doing it by myself now, but I've definitely appreciated having a partnership. But have a partnership with somebody that you can trust, somebody that you might fall out with, and y'all just never forget y'all reasons why, and get back on purpose the very next day. Like sometimes pressure come. One time a pressure come with us, and this is the reason why I'm pushing to the
Your
independent providers and stuff
phone cutting off again.
to reach out to the independent providers and stuff because just not knowing, like, remember when we did the living and we didn't understand how to do because payroll and just how you set up payroll and stuff, we didn't understand some things. And next thing you know, we were on a Department of Labor $40,000.
Mm-hmm.
Was that and then did you get it cut to 20,000 just because of one state, what was it? It was the state overtime that said the business had to be making under
Yeah,
100.
you gotta know about the Department of Labor law. So the Department of Labor law, a lot of agencies even till this day, they think that because you put somebody on a contract or make somebody a 1099 employee, that you can pay people a daily rate or you can pay people whatever because they have this contract with you.
Yeah,
But at the end of the day, the Department of Labor see it as if you are making the schedule for that person, if you're telling the person where to work, if doing any type of management, employee management, you are responsible to pay. Overtime. Even on a salary, you are responsible to pay overtime no matter what. So a lot of agencies were telling us back then, like, oh, just have a contract in place between you and the employee that you're hiring them as a 1099 contractor. So we got in trouble for that, and we had to pay. No, they wanted like $60,000 back, and I got it cut down to 30,000. But we had to pay all the money back because of that. And I know, like Dustin, who's in here too, he got some of those checks, which we never told him where those checks were
I
coming from.
sure did. I told him later on. He kept saying, "I keep getting checks." I never wanted to tell him we fucked up.
But yeah, those are the things that you'll learn during our workshop, and those are the things that a lot of people don't know when they go into these agencies.
Yeah. And that was a learning curve and experience for us. And the lady, she wasn't borrowing. She was just like, y'all got to figure it out. We was like, if we give y'all 20,000, I think this is our first year in this business got to shut down. We don't have 20,000. So we had to get on a payment plan on top of that, like, and pay those people.
Oh no, but
So,
the funny thing, the years later, we paid it. We paid everything, and then we sent all the proof and stuff. Then the Department of Labor came back to try to get the same money out of us again,
mhm,
because for some reason they fired a whole bunch of people, and they didn't know where everything went. So
yeah.
they made us responsible for that. Of course, I had to fight that, but you know, when it comes to the government, you never know, and it's better just to protect yourself and be proactive about everything.
Absolutely. So, when is this workshop going to be held? Cece want to know. I did tell her to DM us, but what date are you thinking about holding this workshop or putting this
The
together?
workshop, I don't have the date in front of me, but I think it's April 26th this month.
Hmm.
And we only have a few spots because we don't want to take a lot of people on our first one. We want to see how it goes first. Then our second one will be after summer on the fall. The
It is.
workshop is at
It's very reasonable. If you want to do it under your business, of course you got to pay for your LLC and if you already got your LLC and your EIN and all that other stuff, fine, great. But if you like completely starting off, you got to be willing to, is you invest a little under $1,000.
so
So
it's a
that
lot cheaper than, I mean, I charge a lot for a home care agency package. So
and
it's way cheaper.
and this is something that in 60 days you could damn near have a client. So 30 days, get everything together, and in 60 days you'll be ready to rock and roll. So get it together. Anybody else got any more questions before we end? And Carmen, hit me up if you need me to be your assistant. Now he's back wanting to be your assistant. Remember, y'all
I
didn't.
know. We're never going to get on the same page. We're going to work on it.
So yeah, so remember the reason why you need credit to leverage. Remember, I'm here to help you fix it. And if not, I definitely have digital products that you can fix yourself. I got two different packages to help you fix your credit in any type of way, and I can help you with funding. And then I got a little promo thing going with anybody that currently has a Navy Federal right now. I can help you get funded on your personal side if you already know what you want to do with your money or any of that type of stuff, and you don't feel like going through the business credit thing. And you got a decent credit score and got a decent relationship with Navy Federal, meaning that you pay your credit cards and stuff on time. I can help you get funded, and it'll be in your account within 3 to 5 days. So hit me up.
And then
I'm ready.
for the workshop, make sure you DM me as soon as possible because I'm about to close it for real, and I'll put you in on this month class. But yeah, pretty, don't delay the process no more. Just get your stuff going because it's getting harder and harder. I keep telling people that every day.
Oh yeah, and then DODD and a Department on Agent, and I was down in Texas. They all want you to have. And I know people be having money, but they all want you to have credit lines. Because remember earlier I said sometimes
Mm-hmm.
with your own money, the way that the money take like 21 days, sometimes 30 days or whatever, based off how you build it. Um, they, if the money don't come, you still got to reach payroll. So they want you to have a $10,000 credit line so that you can still pay for your inventory or your employees or whatever. So they asking for that. They didn't used to ask for that when it came to agencies.
Yep. So yeah, make sure you guys get it on it.
Yep, it's a $10,000 credit line in Ohio for your agency, not your independent provider, but for your agency. They want you to prove that you can get a $10,000 credit line. All right. Next week, who are we having? Or have y'all left us anybody that y'all want to see? Who are we having, Carmen?
We are having Sakia, which is really good because she's going to teach us like leadership, the things that we need in order to attract more employees, the right employees to our company, training employees, and all the good stuff about working inside the operation of the business. So you guys really want to come on that one next week. And then if you have, if you have a business and you're doing your thing out here, hit us up so we can put you on the live as well, and you can share some of your insights.
All right. Thank y'all. We see y'all next week, and I'll see you in a minute. Make sure y'all go follow Carmen or follow me, My Love 2004 or City Span Solutions.
Okay, and CJ_management. That's it. Or you can go to my website as well, which is on my profile.
Bye.
Bye, yeah. Thank you.
What time? 7:15 Eastern. 10 years already. See you later.